been searched. A lot of Guyanese are crying sacrifice. Well, when you hear people crying sacrifice, then you need to search the entire grounds, the
Well,
hotel and the grounds, to make sure that there's not a body there.
what before thank you so much for your input there. Apart from speculations about sacrifice and all these sort of things, this is a crime scene, so to speak, at this point in time. We do not know the whereabouts of the young lady. We do not know the circumstances, and that is why the police should have stepped in early o'clock to deal with those issues. Miss Montague pointed that out as well. But let us take, while we're getting problems with the footage back there, great points made there by Caesar and Montague. Let's welcome Tom Anderson. Tom, I know you've been watching what's going on. Good morning to you. As a parent, how does this make you feel? Just to open the conversation with you. Good morning,
Oh
sir.
yeah. Hey, good morning. And yeah, as a parent, it's just it's your worst nightmare as a parent, right? So you do everything you can for your children, and you try to protect them, and you don't expect them to disappear when they're out to go swimming, so this is a parent's worst nightmare. And so, speaking on behalf of all the parents out there, I know we're all looking at this and hoping that this ends in something good and not bad. So yeah, this is really tough.
Thank you, Tom. There has been reports and credible reports that the police force took nearly 10 to 12 hours, even though they will dispute it. I saw in one of their reports that they went about 2 or 3 hours after. There's a possibility that that's inaccurate. But from 10 hours to 12 hours for a police department to actually take this situation seriously, how does that make you feel?
Well, yeah, I mean that's pretty. That happens. I mean, unfortunately, because we live in a society now where any child who's near a teenage years, anywhere between 11 to 18, 19 years old, when they go missing, a lot of times law enforcement doesn't take it serious, and this is in every country around the world. They think maybe the child ran away, or they're off with some friends, and come back, in about go look everywhere for them first, and come back and tell us if you haven't found them, type of thing. So, no, with these situations, usually law enforcement takes a little bit of time to jump on it, because so many of these things happen every day. I mean, if we were to find out like how
We can
many people
understand.
have,
We can understand that in the U.S. So many things, but it's infrequent that it happens in Guyana. And so it has to be taken seriously. I get your point, Tom. I'm sorry that I interject, but
yeah,
go right ahead. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's just even in Guyana, I'm telling you, every single day, kids are like gone from their parents, and the parents don't know where they are for some time. It could be 15 minutes, it can be an hour, but it happens every day, all the time. And so that's why law enforcement all over the world is a little bit slow on this. And so hopefully, right, we can get smarter as a society, all of us, Guyana, including the United States. And when we have technology like we have now, the camera technology, we can start using some of this technology to be able to track down people who may be out here abducting children, right? And there are ways to do it. There are techniques. There are different things that software can be used to look for these things, and to track down missing children if they are abducted. So part of this story is going to be a tech story, because I'm telling you, someone's going to have some type of camera, some type of video that's going to lead to solving this whole thing, right? And so technology is a big part of this, and leaning into it more probably works, and it probably does a good job in these little time frames where police don't want to go out immediately because they're not sure if this is an abduction or not. So in those hours, those first few hours, technology is important, and a lot can be done in those first few hours. You don't have to rely on the police, and I don't know if we can, like I said, because this happens a lot, even in Guyana, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. I think you made a valid point there in terms of the first few hours. Technology is important. The missing of technology there. We're hearing that CCTV cameras aren't working. We heard that Doubleday, the hotel, they claim that their cameras aren't working. As a former police woman there in Guyana, how does that? Is that story credible, though, Miss Montague?
As it relates to
the cameras and CCTV cameras and the cameras at the hotel not working and all these things.
Well, from the time from the time that they would have indicated that the cameras are not working, it was important for the authorities to check to make sure that's the case. And obviously, based on what we're hearing now, that's not the case. I think they really were tardy in terms of their response based on the reports that is coming out. And there is no sugarcoating about that. I understand Thomas's position as the systematic delays in terms of dealing with these things. But especially in Guyana, we have come complacent as it relates to violence, abuse, and so on. So the authorities think they can do whatever they want because many times when something like this occurs, if it's involving somebody who is wealthy, somebody who is affiliated, then the course of the law and justice is not taken. We've seen it in many high profile cases. So a lot of children go missing. A lot of children cannot be accounted for. A lot of incidents happen for long periods, and then you hear they're investigating, and eventually it goes under the rug. Somebody get $40,000 or whatever, and that's it, or 50,000, something like that. So the system has to be more aggressive in dealing with these types of crimes, and the area should have been treated as a crime scene very, very early.
And going back to what Tom said, of course, a suspected crime scene, and the very first few hours would have to depend on technology in order to determine what has really transpired. I agree with you that it should be treated as a suspected crime scene, but during the first couple of hours, what is important is technology. The cameras, according to the people at the hotel, it wasn't working. And Tom again is correct. We got to now rely on technology. Who has some sort of camera footage, video footage of what really transpired, and so forth? Wayne Caesar, what are you picking up there? The cameras at the hotel not working. Suddenly, a big so-called international hotel. What's happening there, sir?
Well, Mark, that is concerning and very suspicious because usually, the cameras at these places, hotels and these places in Guyana, they're always working because, they want to have them working. There's been so much robberies and all these type of things across Guyana of late. So for the most part, the CCTV cameras at these locations are working. But I want to take a pivot here for a second while, we're looking into this investigation and looking, where we can start and the critical points in the investigation. Instead of sending the mother home, I believe that the police should have interviewed the mother. You want to know a little bit more about this child. Is she a normal 11-year-old that's attending with? Yeah, if I was shut out there, I see that we're having some technical issues. I would want to know, is she a normal 11-year-old that is attending school on a daily basis? Where is her, if she's not attending school, where is her whereabouts during the day? Does she have a cell phone? Who are the people that she could have been in contact with? I think this would be key to this investigation also, because it can be also that it could be somebody who the child is in contact with or would have been in contact with, would have run away with the child also. This can also be,
all right, got you there. Wayne sees lots of things, lots of speculations. Tom Anderson, again, back to the CCTV cameras. It seems as though it's a norm in Guyana whenever there's some sort of somebody that may have, I'm assuming here, I don't know. It seems as though they were trying to cover up for the hotel. They didn't want the hotel to look too bad, and therefore they weren't too cooperative. The hotel claimed that their cameras aren't working, which is a problem as far as I'm aware. But the CCTV cameras, they have so many CCTV cameras. According to what we're hearing is that after this little girl got into this car, according to what the police or what we're hearing, is that they headed east towards Reed and Hope. And that is east towards Reed and Hope. It's towards Georgetown. The other report that we're hearing is that this car is a rental car. And the person who owns the car claimed that they rented the car to some individual, just a first name. Now, I have issues if that is accurate, that you are renting your car and you just rent it to somebody with a first name, no proper identification or whatever. But as of now, thankfully, we're hearing that they have a suspect in custody. What do you take from all of what was said, Tom?
Yeah, I'm just worried about the child. Where is she? Is she okay? Is she healthy? That should be the focus. I'm glad that they have a suspect, but the entire focus now should be on just trying to find her, and making sure that if she's still alive, that she's healthy and well, and that she receives medical treatment if she needs it. So that's where everyone's focus should be. It's good to debate some of this stuff, but I think right now, and look, and I'm sure the police are going to get some criticism, but they need help from the public right now. Anybody who has any type of cell phone footage, possibly anything, any kind of properties, people who own homes or businesses, if you look through your cameras, look through everything over the last whatever 24 hours, look through all your tapes and pay close attention. Take the time. Take an hour if you have to go through and see if you saw anything on there, if your cameras caught anything recorded there, because it could be the one thing needed to find her before anything bad happens.
Well said, Tom. Anything you see something, hear something, know something, and even if those of you who might be afraid to send whatever piece of evidence you may have to the Guyana Police Force, feel free to inbox somebody that you trust. Maybe one of the social media personalities. Maybe if you trust me sufficiently and you have a piece of evidence, feel free to inbox me, whomever it is that you trust. Because Tom, it is good to say that if somebody out there, and that's a good point you've made, if you have any evidence, share it with the police. Sometimes people are reluctant to even share anything with the police at all, but share it with somebody that you trust. Miss Montague, go ahead.
Thanks again. I am concerned about the inability of senior ranks not to de-escalate situations and to be able to de-escalate early. When these incidents occur, of course, they said it's a presumptive crime scene because there is a missing child. There were evidence early to suggest the child went into the building and did not leave the building based on the footage that was available early. And so my thing is the ability of the senior officers to engage family members and members of the public, understanding they have a responsibility to speak to members of the public. They have a responsibility to engage the family members respectfully, honestly, and to let them know, look, it's early stages of investigation. We are working with you, not in a dismissive manner. And I think those are the reasons you see outbursts, and so we're hoping that those tactics of de-escalating issues and incidents can be a focus on the in the force where they can address these matters and prevent some of the incidents that we're seeing following incidents like this or following matters like this.
Point well taken. To another point is hopefully the suspect, the person who is said to be a suspect, who is in police custody, at least the police should be able to ascertain uh, whether that person is familiar with the family, whether that person is familiar with the 11-year-old girl, and trying to put on a little bit of police investigations. Um, what I would say, I wouldn't say training, but experience. Um, Academic experience, that is that one of the main things that they have to point out is, who is this suspect? Is this suspect connected to the family, or is it just a random person who saw this 11-year-old girl? I'm not saying that the suspect is guilty, but they seem to have a suspect. But they need to ascertain whether the suspect is familiar with the family, the suspect is familiar with the little girl, and how is it that the person was able to lure that little girl out of the pool, walk past, as Wayne said earlier, the security desk, and walk into a car, a waiting car with this individual. Something is even deeper in this here, as far as I'm concerned, and maybe it's putting my antennas in the direction that maybe this suspect, maybe the suspect, is familiar with the family. That's just a maybe for me. Tom, what's going through your mind there?
That
I know.
happens a lot.
I know. One second. I know we're not here to solve there. We're just giving our opinion. We're
Yeah.
not here. Go
No,
ahead,
but
sir.
that happens a lot. I mean, that's where law enforcement was probably going to start, is with close friends and family. Anyone who's in normal contact with her, no matter what, like they're going to contact all those people and interview those people. So that's the first place they look, and then they go from there and they go out and they keep going further and further out until they can find any suspects that they need to find. So yeah, so anyone that knows her is going to be in a position now to have to interview for sure, um, if they haven't found her. So yeah. So that's the bottom line on this, and I think everyone should know that for these types of things, if you just keep in mind, especially this part of it where the child is missing, it's best to just be as helpful as possible. This isn't the time to be really upset. This is not the time to be accusing anyone of anything. All that stuff can come afterwards. But right now, while she's still missing, everybody should really be in a position where they're open-minded and they're trying to be helpful and trying to be in a position where they're making the situation easier for law enforcement to help track her down. And then the other stuff we can talk about afterwards. But right now, I think that's what we should be focusing on, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and we can disagree with your opinion. Wade, Caesar, any other thing to add? Because we're still awaiting some sort of video footage back, live footage back there. I know a lot of those folks who have been running their cameras all night and all day thus far. Kudos to them. They're doing a great service there, and I like the camaraderie that we're seeing there with all folks are out there. Wade, Caesar.
Yes, Mark. So I've been perusing the comments here, and I just want to bring in our listeners and viewers here quickly. Shoy Gibson is saying, when you rent a car, you usually have to show ID, which indicates your first name and last name and where you live. She's absolutely correct. So anybody renting a car with just a first name, that is very questionable right there. Then I have another one here from J.A. Richards. Okay, what she's saying is that this hotel has a history. We keep forgetting that a body was found floating in the hotel. A body was found floating in that same hotel's pool, and the owners got off. That's what she's saying here.
Yeah, that is correct.
So this facility has a history.
So there was a situation there where the owner's son was actually charged in 2012 for the murder of someone who apparently was working there. So and maybe we're zooming in on something. We don't know who the suspect is at this point in time, but it's highly suspicious. Again, suspicious that the hotel owner they were not cooperative at all, and that's according to information. Miss Montague.
Well, at this time, there is a suspect in place, and I know we are anxious to have this child return, and but at the same time, we don't want them to just pick up any old body and put in custody and think this is going to calm us. And we're speaking because I'm from the system. I love the force. I support the force. I come out of the belly of the force. So I know when the force is performing well, and I also know when the force is lacking. And we've been seeing quite a lot of the effectiveness over recent times. And so we need to call it as it is. So I am hoping that they've got the suspect, and that will lead us to that 11-year-old child being returned alive and well. So let us be hopeful as we watch what is happening, what is unfolding with the investigation. And the public, I want to say thanks for rallying around this family and coming out. A lot of men are out there, and I really want to say how happy I am that the men are coming out and supporting most of the mothers that are out there, and the children, the teenagers in this incident. So stay woke, people. Stay awake. Stay vigilant. you know, as Thomas said, if you have footages, you have video recordings, anything that can help the authorities in their investigation, that will be great. And if you're not sure or not comfortable turning it in to the police and you want to turn it into journalists, you have Mark. You can get it to him. You can also send me a text as an activist, as someone who leads the NGO operational in Guyana in the United States, and I'll be happy to have it turned into authorities.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Montague. This is just our opinion about what's happening. We are concerned. Parents as well. Lots of you out there are very concerned. Let's just, and I know I just took you guys out from your busy schedule, but this is what's happening on the ground as we speak. Currently happening there. Apparently, we're hearing that Irfan Ali may have promised that he is on his way. He was earlier, even though knew that this happened, picking green mangoes and enjoying himself. That's what we saw. And there's not a presence there of the Minister of Home Affairs, who usually jumps to run at fire and all these sort of things. He loves to be there, but the Minister of Home Affairs is not there at the scene at the moment. The people are angry. As you listen to them, they say, "Is this one Guyana?" Let's hear it again, please.
You want to fucking go? What I do? You want to fucking go? Hello? One barrier. One barrier. Nobody fucking right, police. One fucking barrier. Everybody come here. One barrier. One fucking barrier. Yeah, come here. Come here. One barrier. Fuck them. See why it is going? Fuck them. Y'all is going to bring it yesterday. Let see why it's doing. You see why it's going? One fuck them that come from. Who got that ready for play? You see that? You saw why it ran? Y'all is doing how you work for the watch. What I know? They love now. They can't produce the people shine and life and well. What is you are doing here for do? You shoot people. Tear gas people. But when you gone, you go. Let me tell you, that police since yesterday 1 o'clock time, and they were, and the police and they here, they just guarding the place. Let me search, let me sell it. Knock down the workers, the owner got to stay there. Right. Mom, no, they're supposed to be in there till now.
Mark?
All right, that's just a live scene there in Guyana at the at Tushan in front of the Doubleday Hotel. People, their blood boiling up, and rightly so. They want justice. They want to know what's the situation, the whereabouts of the 11-year-old girl. You were saying something, Miss Montague.
Yes. If you listened to this live footage, you will hear that the outrage is the length of time that has lapsed. And we know that investigation takes a certain time to go into motion, but it can commence. And the absence of police presence for so long at the scene that this incident have alleged to have happened, that is the concern and the response. So, as I spoke about de-escalation, of course, calling to know what is happening and to update me from the ground. So that's where it is right now. But I am concerned with the authorities, with the posture of the authorities, and I'm still pleased that we have engagement continuing with the public and the police on the ground, because that is a good sign that they're engaging. So I hope that that remains peaceful and we have a child alive to report soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss Montague. There, if any one of you has an appointment or something else, you feel free to just say that you have to go. But I appreciate the time that you guys have taken to be here to talk about this current situation. And even as we speak of that, there's I think three other women who were murdered. Tom, just last night, murdered. A woman was murdered by her reputed husband, and two members of her family also were murdered. This is what's happening in Guyana. But based on what you're seeing there on the ground, Mr. Anderson, with the police and so forth, um, what else you'd like to add, please, about this missing 11-year-old girl?
Yeah, well, so of course, even here we have, our issues with our law enforcement, and I'm not giving any excuses to the Guyanese police force. I'm not saying that they are the best; they shouldn't be criticized, anything like that. But what I am saying is usually for a missing child, it's the community that finds the child. Because if you think about it, right, law enforcement, you might have a handful of officers. You might be lucky if you have 20 police officers, right? But usually what you have are people from the community coming together in large groups, and they go out into fields to search fields. They go out they go all over. They use radar equipment. Specialists come in to donate different things. So anytime there's a child missing, it's usually a team effort where a big part of the team that usually finds the child is the community itself, business people who are donating equipment and trucks, stuff like that. People who are out there who are putting together food and drinks for the people who are searching for the child. It takes a huge community effort. And so when you really think about this situation, it's sort of a microcosm of how civilian population lives with law enforcement. You want a really good law enforcement that moves quickly and moves in an efficient way and does a really good job and is professional, right? You do want that. But at the same time, there's a danger in that where law enforcement can go overboard, where something innocent can be happening and they interpret it as not innocent, and now all of a sudden someone gets shot because the law enforcement's been told to get on top of everything really fast. And so there's a give and take here, right? And so with that give and take, I think I like to be on the side of community support, where the community can get together, activists along with former law enforcement, along with businesses, can get together, form groups, and start to put together investigations that help law enforcement. And that's the type of stuff that law enforcement needs, even in Guyana. So I think there's an opportunity here because I see the crowd out there. There are people who are out there who want to help. It doesn't look like there's a lot of people directing how that help should go. And I think that's what we need right now in Guyana, and that's what we have in the United States more so of it are people in the civilian space, regular citizens or activists who can organize volunteers, who can get people together who are just on the street, kind of, meandering around talking and getting them organized and ready to go to search a field or something like that. Right. So that's what if anyone's watching, that's what you should be thinking about is how can you work together in your community? How can you put together a group of volunteers to go and help law enforcement uh, look for this child and find her? Because that's the way she's going to be found, is when the community comes together and in large numbers to go out in an organized way to search for her. That's how she's going to be found. I love law enforcement. Law enforcement is great, but it's really hard to depend on them to find a missing child alone. They're going to need a lot of help from the community, and I think that's what everybody should be really focused in on right now.
And just to give piggyback on what you've said there about the community, we're seeing lots and lots of help coming from the community. They're all ethnic persuasion, whatever it is. They're all out there doing whatever that is necessary, calling for justice. They want justice. They want the little girl to be produced. Where is the little girl right now? And I hope that whoever that suspect is, that the police is grilling that suspect in order to ascertain whether that person was responsible or not. And where is the little girl right now? Is she tied up in a house? Is she in some car trunk? Where is she? Is she in some bushes? Where is she? Is there other persons who are involved in this quote unquote abduction? What is the reason behind the abduction and so forth? And this is where smart folks out in the police force should be getting information. They should be scrolling all CCTV footages, whether it's from neighbors, whether it's from the hotel, wherever. They should demand and they should confiscate those footages from the hotel. They need to do that. This is now considered a quote unquote crime scene. It was, of course, a crime scene. The son, we're here in 2012, double D murder, the same double D murder, owner's son, worker arraigned. That was in 2012. Now, we're not saying that the son is a suspect. We're not saying that here at all. But somebody just brought to our attention that this particular situation, and if in fact there are higher ups in the police force who initially attempted to cover up and did not want to show the CCTV footage from the hotel, I don't know what's going on. We're just offering our opinion here. They're just mere speculations as of now. But I agree with Tom. The focus should be for the return of this 11-year-old girl.
And Mark, I think J.A. Richards, look at his comment. The issue with this is that the community doesn't even need law enforcement. I think he's correct. Like, the best communities around the world are communities that don't need law enforcement because they're so tight knit and they work together so well that they don't really need law enforcement, right? There are communities like that around the world that they don't need law enforcement. Okay, so I think he's correct, and I think instead of taking the perspective of, hey, the police are getting in the way, which they are going to get in the way. I mean, I'm sorry, that's what they do, right? Instead of taking that perspective, I think the better perspective is to say, hey, you know what? Let's get together as a community. Let's get some people who have some experience, right? Who are former law enforcement, who are activists now. Let's get together with them and have them tell us and lead us and organize us in a way so that we can do things that help law enforcement, whether law enforcement is there to help or not. That's what's needed right now, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That is what's needed. Wayne, Caesar, in terms of briefly, in terms of a community approach, we are seeing this community approach. This is really good. This is really healthy, and that is what the police seem more interested in stopping that community approach. Your take on what you're seeing thus far on the ground with the community?
Community has come together. I agree with you, Mark. The community has come together here. Right, you can see it, but again, I call on the Guyana police force to be very cordial, in their efforts to try to de-escalate this. But at the same time, I encourage the community to do what needed to be done in this situation. We have a missing young 11-year-old that needs to be found. Okay, I've just also gotten some news on the ground here that there's a medical team and there's also the army and buses lined up to go to the location over there. So the police, they have to be somewhat controlled here. They have to understand that the people on the ground are annoyed. They are upset. And as much as you don't want to politicize such situations, Mark, you look at a one-sided runaway government that is being undemocratic. You don't have the help of the opposition in this. You need a collective government in Guyana in order to take care of issues as such, right?
All
Over
right.
to you.
Thank you so much. There's always the politics in it, but what we focused on here, which is what Tom said, the return of the missing girl. That's the focus. Miss Montague, you wanted to say something earlier? Go ahead.
Sure, and I'm going to run away after this comment. I have to leave, but one of the things that I just learned is that the Minister of Human Services is on the ground, and she's indicating that the building will be closed, so there will be no business, which should have been the case since yesterday, but it will be officially closed. She indicated dogs are going to be brought in, the sniffer dogs are going to be brought in. So apparently resources are rolling in. So that's hopeful, and that's good to see and hear that this is happening. Maybe not at the pace that many expected it, but it's happening. So my call to the public is to remain vigilant and observe, but still be united in this search to return this young child home. And I hope that this is the last such incident that we're dealing with. We're dealing with many violent cases, a lot of domestic violence and abuse, a lot of murders of women, and it seemed not to be reaching any end. In fact, we are seeing exponential numbers. So, in closing, I want to thank you and thank your panelists for being here. And I will stay connected so we can probably do updates as this case unfolds.
Thank you so much, Miss Montague. Appreciate your time, and especially at the last moment here to ask you to appear, as is the case with the other two guests, Mr. Anderson and Mr. Caesar. Thank you so much, Miss Montague. Appreciate your time. Have a good day. Yep. All right, Bonita Montague there, former police officer in the Guyana Police Force, now rights activist, both in the U.S. and in Guyana. Mr. Anderson, and Mr. Caesar reports are that these sort of things are not unfamiliar to that hotel from what we're hearing in 2012. And prior to that, members within the community have complained about a lot of different questionable activities. I don't know what those questionable activities are. I'm just getting some phone calls coming in and answering some text messages as well. Is there anything else? And I just want to say that I agree with everyone that the main focus is on this little girl. Where is this 11-year-old girl? The other thing that I'm hearing is that it appears that the police were more concerned in covering up for the hotel owner, who apparently has connections to and some people may suck their teeth, those who may not want to hear this, but the owner has high connections with the senior operatives of the PPP regime. And so it may have been a case since yesterday that the police thought they were doing a favor by covering up for the Double D hotel folks by not allowing the cameras to search the cameras to understand early o'clock what happened, because early o'clock it should have been treated as a crime scene. Because if the reports are that she entered a car and went away with this driver, unknown to her grandmother and other relatives who were there, then right there and then, in my opinion, it should have been treated as a potential abduction case. And Tom is correct. The neighbors and members of the community and technology, videos and so forth, is what is needed at this point in time. Mr. Anderson, anything else to be added?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, that like Miss Montague should be a resource that the community should plug into. and others. Anyone who's a retired former Guyana police officer who's in Guyana, who's in the area, they should offer up their services to the public to help organize the people who are out in the community who want to help, right? Like, so that's what's needed now is the people who have experience, who are in the community and have the time and are concerned should step up to the plate and start organizing things like search teams and whatnot to be able, because I thought I saw one video earlier where they were complaining they didn't have enough people to search and they needed more people and they couldn't search a certain building because they just didn't have the numbers and they needed dogs and other things. So I just think there are enough people in the community with enough experience and with time and with effort that combined with law enforcement, this young girl can be found. And that's the key, right? So that's the most important thing. And I'll say it again. I just really think every time I look back on, even here in the United States, I look back on a missing child case, it's usually the public, the volunteers, the people who are out there, teachers who on their free time came out and were a part of a search team. That's usually who finds these missing children. So it's usually not law enforcement. So I'll just continue to say, for the people who are out there, I don't think it's a protest right now. I think what you want right now is to organize to try to help find this girl, and that's where everybody should be.
Yep, absolutely. Tom, what we are now getting is footage as to what's happening live there in Tushan. We just pause you for a quick moment there, please, Tom. Let's hear what's happening there on the ground.
Oh, Father God. I'm trying to find a place to show you how we have to see. Oh, God, it is such a face blue. Oh, they find she dead. Oh, my God, she is dead. The child dead, and I there here at the back. They're not treating this place nice. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. If the truth they come out and then tell these people that this child was still on the premises and they're going to try to do what they can for help. Oh. It is a riot outside. It is a riot outside. The child is oh, God. Oh. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Adrian is dead. Oh God, where's your mother and your father there? I come in a room here. I hope this is, oh God, oh. Why, boy, why? Oh, the child dead. Oh. Oh God, my belly turning up. People of viewers, I'm very sorry to see that this child is dead. The child is dead. Oh. What they can tell the people now? What can they say to the people? Oh God. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God. Oh. The baby dead. The baby dead. The baby dead. Oh my God. The baby dead. Oh. Me want you violate this child to put upon his life. I will not put her body upon his life. I will not. I am not going to violate this child. But this child is dead. Oh God, Adrian is dead.
I notice some folks are asking what's going on. If you're now joining, as you read the comment, you'll get to hear what's happening. The missing 11-year-old girl, we're now hearing reports that she has been found dead in the hotel, on the premises of the hotel in a little room. Something. Let's continue to hear this lady as she vent. She has been up all night giving us coverage.
When we done start the building over there, you hear what I'm telling you? A phone that takes place. These people left it and go back exchange one of these body, one hand set the shit inside and one hand liquor inside. And they bring down the one with the liquor. They even being a strength to hold you up. The child was not in the pool. I just walked by the pool. And the pool is not that deep. The child is not in the pool. But between when I tell the police doesn't even help him. I tell the police, I say, police, yeah, come. I tell the police, I say, yeah, go and see where is it that these people exchange. They exchange and watch. The trolley move from here. Oh God, I could have come live in the building. No. Where's the life worth? Where's the work? Where's the cost of a life? Where's the cost of a life? Oh my God. They put a child in the pool. They put a child in the pool. They put a child in the pool. Y'all coming in? Y'all coming in? Coming and bolt this door. I got to the pool. I said, Francine, why you shut your mouth? They put a child. Hey, they put a child in the pool. Why you calm down? That's why they put the child in the pool. That's why it's not empty. She would have never gone down here. Oh God. One life worth. One life worth. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. When we sister there. Oh God, we family members. Oh God. Them vehicle and stuff. Them vehicles and so what they do there. Oh God, oh. I just walk by the pool. I walk slowly by the pool and I watch to see what I can see in the pool. The child at the pool. No, oh, they put a child in the pool. Oh my God, oh. Oh. They put a child in the pool.
I mean, just to have you guys know, those who are now joining, the report is, according to what we're hearing from that live feed there, is that the missing 11-year-old girl, Adriana Young, was just found dead. Bruises on parts of her body, lots of allegations now that the body was taken back next to the pool or in the pool in order to cover up. We'll just pause from that live video for a moment. Tom, briefly before we head back there, what are your thoughts now that the body has been found on the premises of the hotel?
Now it's time for law enforcement. Now it's time. I mean, now that a body has been found, now it's time for law enforcement to go in and make arrests. And they should probably be making arrests sooner rather than later. And there should probably be some word from the national government itself, the PPP, on the issue, because if they don't move quickly to show that they're going to bring justice to this case swiftly and correctly, then this could get out of control. And then people are going to blame the community, but it's not the community's fault. So I think the police need to move fast. I think Irfan Ali, I think the government, the PPP government, needs to move quickly and make some arrests and prosecute this swiftly and with every single fact and every single piece of proof available to bring justice to whoever did this to this child.
You know, I'm noticing some comment that this could have been avoided since last night. We'll take a quick minute to hear what this lady is saying again before we head to Mr. Caesar.
They bring the child down in the trolley. They just somebody police did not move. Oh my God, this your face blue, blue, blue. And this is it.
Um, as we lost connection there, Mr. Caesar, I'm agreeing with one of the viewers saying that the entire staff that worked the shift from yesterday afternoon to now should be under arrest. Mr. Caesar, how are you feeling now? That obviously is a silly question about how you're feeling now. I can just imagine. They have found the body of the 11-year-old missing girl, Adriana, um, on the premises of the hotel, the very hotel. Mr. Anderson, Mr. Caesar. I think you're on mute. Yeah, your microphone, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mark, I'm lost for words right now. We're talking about a young child, that's just 11 years old, a whole life ahead of her, and I recall saying this over and over on my program, just encouraging parents to hold their children tight to them, boys and girls in this country, in Guyana. It is scary. Um, is the police's law enforcement complicit in this? Look, they should have been a complete search of the entire premises from the get-go. As far as I'm hearing, that was never conducted. So this is shameful. The people has been crying sacrifice. I cannot doubt them. Everyone, staff, everybody within that hotel compound should be arrested. Every single person. Once you have knowledge of what was happening or would have happened here, you should be arrested and placed in jail, including the owner. And I got to give a massive call out to that viewer who came on here and remind us of what would have happened in 2012. Because again, here you have literally the same thing, somebody ending up dead, the bottom line. And then it appears as if, based on what the people on the ground is saying, is that the body has been moved around. And then the other thing, a complete investigation, the autopsy, the check of our body needs to be, well done, because I believe that this young woman had to have been raped also.
Well, we have to
yes, wait on the investigations. Yes, yes.
And one of the things that we have to do is to be very cautious, and allow the police to. And while I may not, we should not be ruling certain things out. There needs to be a thorough investigation, because the circumstances that led to this young, beautiful little girl's death is whether such occur. And to me, it's leading now towards an independent autopsy report. And so we can understand how the family members are feeling right now. And it is just our view, our opinions, mind you. It is sad we have lost the footage there, but we got back Miss Montague before we head back over to Mr. Anderson. Miss Montague, the situation has changed. The body has been discovered on the premises of the hotel. The police have been prevented. They did not go to do what they should have done from the inception, but now the discovery of the body. Miss Montague.
Mark, this is not the results we wanted. This is not what we wanted at all. And this is a
while we stick a pin for a quick moment. We understand how you feel. We understand the emotions, lots and that. We could just imagine what's going on the ground, whether the hotel is still up or not. We don't know. Mr. Anderson, one moment, please, Miss Montague, please, as you You know, Mr. Anderson, over to you, unless something else you want to add as to what's happening, sir.
Yeah, I just hope that law enforcement moves quickly to make some arrests to get control over this situation. Um, it's better to err on the side of over caution and arrest people, as many as you need to get people in a spot so that you can do a thorough investigation and really get to the bottom of what happened to this child and to bring justice to whoever murdered this child, right? And so it's just imperative that the police start making arrests immediately. It's imperative that the PPP, the national government, get a handle on this, because the last thing that the nation of Guyana needs is children disappearing in hotels and dying. And it's such a clumsy and bad process that the police look like that they were covering up, and that the owners of the hotel had connections to politicians in high places. And so all of this that was going on today was all happening because people were trying to cover up for some murderers. That's what it looks like. And so unless the police start making arrests, and unless the PPP start taking this very serious, this is going to turn into a situation where they're going to be viewed as a government and a police force that is helping murderers murder children. And that's a big problem. So
Yes.
I implore them to start making arrests immediately.
And agree with you 100%. All of the staff members should have been arrested by now, including the owner of the hotel. Miss Montague, go ahead, please.
From the time this thing happened, we kept calling for them all night last night. We were on the phone. We asking for them to, since yesterday afternoon, go in and search, go in and search. They had several cameras around the pool. Nobody, nothing was seen, nothing was found. What happened that this child body suddenly appear now in this pool? What is really happening? Are we idiots? What is happening? And remember, the reports were no cameras, no working cameras. Then the cameras working. The neighbor opposite camera footage always showed the child enter but never left. And that should have been the cue for the investigators to move in and to search for life immediately, and early on. Every second counts in saving a life, especially when there is a pool involved in these things and it's a young child. And so definitely, I am saying that it is my firm belief that it was a cover-up from stage one. It was a cover-up early, and it is two different laws in that country. Maybe the law for the poor, the law for the rich, the system for the poor, the system for the rich. That has to come to an end. I am hurt. I am broken. As a mother, I am devastated all night. Every hour we counted last night, up, working, trying to make calls, and this is what we have now. This is not what we wanted.
A sad ending indeed for this 11-year-old. There's no justification there at all, and folks should not be blaming and saying that supervision. She was there with her grandmother and other relatives just to have a good time, enjoy themselves as kids usually do. 11-year-old. Or even younger, or even a little older, to have fun with their relatives, with their loved ones. And it was basically the hotel who has every right and obligation to protect their customers. This was not the case. We are looking at obviously a murder, and this could have taken place with the help of other staff members. The police need to now get to the bottom of this situation. If they had cordoned off the place, because if the young lady went missing, the little girl went missing, then the entire place should have been searched. The question is, why wasn't it? Why wasn't it? Heads should have been rolling by now. We see and we hear these things. Police being complicit in certain crimes. It has got to stop. And if it takes this situation here to stop it, then let's go quickly and see what's happening here, guys. Sorry about that.
I don't know. I can't tell you how what. They find it? No. They find this child? It is alert now that they find this child. Don't tell me the child out there. The child out there? The child out there? Yeah, the child out there. She dead? Oh, oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Get the fucking hole! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! The child is dead. Our little Adriana is dead. Oh my God. Oh. Oh my God. Oh my God. I got a friend who belongs to me. They're breaking up the place. Oh, Father God. I'm trying to find a place to show you how we have to see. Oh God, it is such a face blue. Oh, they find she dead. Oh my God, she is dead. The child's dead, and I they here at the back. They're not treating this place.
Wayne Caesar, lots of blood boiling there on the ground, emotions, and rightfully so. Sir?
Mark, I would defer to Tom or Bonita for now.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom. Let's hear, Tom, what's going through, what's obviously law enforcement, fingers are pointing in the direction of law enforcement, not taking action when they should have taken action right there to just take a look around the hotel. Just take a look. Oh, this girl is missing. It's an hour now, 2 hours. Let's take a look around the hotel. What's happening? Obviously, she wasn't in the pool. So for them to attempt to put her back in the pool now, it's obvious what happened. Tom?
I mean, yeah, I mean, someone's covering up a murder is what it looks like, right? And that's why I say arrests need to be made. Part of the duty of law enforcement is to take action that, you know, allows the community to feel at ease and feel as if, you know, justice is being handled and taken care of. And if they're not making arrests, then this is a vigilante situation, and the community is going to take justice into their own hands. Okay, that's what's going to end up happening. So these guys need to seriously get on it. They need to start making these arrests. They need to start showing the community examples of what happens if anybody goes out there to harm an innocent one in Guyana, that law enforcement is going to come out there and deal with it. Now, I understand everyone's saying they are the problem. They are the problem. I understand what everyone's saying, but at the end of the day,
mother. That's the mother there, Tom. That's the mother.
Yep. They need to make arrests, regardless of what arrests need to be made, and they need to be made sooner rather than later.
Let's head back on the ground. We're getting some footages, but they're coming in and breaking up. We need to, and they got to be arrested. We agree with you, Tom, 100%. I'm sorry, guys. As the footage, we were trying to get the live feed and so forth. This is indeed a sad situation. So, for those who are now joining us, the 11-year-old girl out in Guyana that was missing since yesterday, Adriana Young, her body was just discovered on the premises, mind you. Yep, on the premises of the hotel. Yep, I'm not certain that the police would be able to contain this, the emotions and the blood boiling there, Miss Montague, while we await the footage.
I see that this is out of control now, and this is what we've been asking the authorities to act and act early, and now it's uncontrollable now. It's uncontrollable, and so it's understandably the public need to be outraged. We need to be outraged regardless which country we're in, physically, or we belong to. The world need to be outraged. This is happening in Guyana, and it's not the first time. It's not the second time. And so our women and our children are not safe, and even our men are not safe. And so Guyana has now become, and not today, but in recent time, has been a country that is lawless. Corruption high, women being murdered and abused with injustices high, persons getting off with because of their affiliation or their financial status to gruesome kind all the time. We are tired. We are fed up. Now, an innocent child came to have a good time with her family and she is found dead. This is not the Guyana I was born to, and I know, and I love. And I'm sure Mark will say that, and others will say that.
Absolutely. It's not the Guyana. We're just not getting the kind of footage that we need. This is a sad situation. The 11-year-old girl should have been protected by the hotel, by hotel security, should have been protected by the police. It appears that the police, my opinion, many folks seem to be agreeing with that version that the police neglected this little girl. If they had searched the premises, again, live footage out there. You hear the blood boiling. People are very emotional, and rightly so. And I will show some footage. One particular footage, please do. It's not the best at all, and we wish not to be insensitive, but this came off of a news paper out in Guyana, Stabroek News footage. This is the body of the 11-year-old girl. Apparently, it was placed next to the pool. That is, according to what we're hearing, was placed next to the pool. And this pool, you can see right through it. You can see the water. And so if there was a body in this pool, since last night there were other folks who did a live coverage there. they would have been able to pick that up. People looked into the pool, their family members, they searched all over. They were looking into the pool on numerous occasions, and then the body wasn't there. And now suddenly, the body is there. Suddenly, the owners of the hotel and the workers there, apparently, they want people to believe that that is where they discovered the body. Um, what's happening there, Tom? Let's hear.
Well, I watched Critic last night, and he was by that pool, and there was no body by the pool. So I don't know how that's possible, but clearly someone's covering something up. And that's why I say, I'm going to keep saying it. There need to be arrests, and yeah, there need to be some arrests right now, and there needs to be some kind of press conference from the government to announce these arrests, so that people aren't out here taking justice into their own hands and doing vigilante style stuff right now. Because you can go from, what's already a tragedy can turn into an even bigger one, where other lives can be lost in mayhem. And if the police can't get this under control, then you may have violence with police. You may have more shootings. So this could get really, really bad. To prevent to prevent this from getting any worse, I think there needs to be some kind of press conference and some serious arrests being made ASAP, within the next hour, I think.
And not only arrest, also resignation. The commander, whoever is the commander for that division, and also the commissioner of police needs to say something. He has been quiet for too long. He's been quiet even in the wake of those two murders, those two young men who were killed by members of the Guyana police force. We oftentimes see that they hold press conferences to cover up whenever there's a high-profile murder that is linked to maybe their friends and cronies of the force. Let's get back to Mr. Caesar, see if whatever else he has to add, sir.
Yeah, no, Mark, I could not agree with you more. The commander in that area needs to be investigated, and also the people should call for his resignation. The people should call for the resignation of the commissioner of police. The people should call for the resignation of the PPPC side of the government, because all of these people are responsible for what is happening here. The people in the hotel has ties to government. And I refrain from saying that word hotel. That is not a hotel. I deem that place now a slaughterhouse. Okay, it is used as a place where people are murdered. All right. And at this point, Mark, I'm going to say this. Whatever the people on the ground chooses to do, law enforcement need to allow those people to vent their frustrations and not going about trying to shoot people with live ammunition. Because I tell you this, if another Guyanese end up getting shot like what would have happened in Linden, then the country will shut down. So they better take warning and leave those people alone. They are frustrated, and rightfully so. They have been disenfranchised by their own police force, and more so by government. Okay? Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Ms. Montague.
Press conference. I have been asking for press conferences to be held in these cases over and over. The first thing is that my understanding is that the police force has a system where civilians are operating their PR machinery. And of course, those civilians are questionable in terms of their political biases, not necessarily being able to bring the truth and the honest reports that the public should be privileged to. I am very concerned about that. When these incidents occur, we want to hear the commissioner come out and say what is happening. We want to hear from the crime chief. We want to hear, and the public needs to have that respect so that they can come out, hold press conferences. You don't have to tell us everything that is happening in the investigation, but you can tell the public and you can reassure us that you're doing everything that is there to be done. And that is what the public have not been seeing over the years. And there is no accountability. No one is saying you have to have this done. The government is not ensuring that it's done. And we are frustrated now. And, I served in the force at a time when the media used to come to the commissioner's office. They would go there and they will ask for a comment, and they will have that comment. Now we're not finding that happening. And I have a problem with that, because we want to hear if the police force can tell us what they know or what information they've gathered so far. At least it alleviates some of the anxiety and the frustration of the public. So we're asking the police, carry out your arrest, carry out your investigation, but please come and inform the public in real time. We need to hear. We should not be begging for information. And we don't want no civilian to come and give us information from the police force, because they're not going to be held accountable if something goes wrong. We need to hear from the force itself.
The
That's
police
right.
force.
That's right, Bonita. That's great. What she just said. She is correct. That's what's needed big time.
Yeah, the police force seems to be very picky with when they come out. The last time was about 2 or 3 years ago. They came out with a rushed and a questionable press conference to cover up the crime of that was the killing of Paper Shorts, cover up almost every single thing. Since then, we have not heard a press conference back from the police force. There have been the murders of those two young men in Linden, the murders of 3 persons or 4 persons out on the Linden Suicide Highway last evening, and now the discovery of this body of the 11-year-old girl. The police force and other stuff they have been silent on for too long. All we see the Guyana Police Force senior members doing, thinking that it is something that's going to win the hearts of people, maybe some folks a little bit, but they're sharing out kites, they're going and playing cricket and all manner of things in order to divert attention from the real issues. No press conference thus far. We are not hearing from the president, quote unquote, the president of the country. We're not hearing from the Minister of Home Affairs. Absolutely nothing. And I hope the opposition, they can call an immediate press conference on this, not just a paper press release, but an immediate press conference to condemn this act, to also condemn actions or non-action by members of the Guyana Police Force. Mr. Caesar, Mr. Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, I just think the communication is lacking in Guyana overall. The government tends to take the position of the PPPC government tends to take the position, especially with Jagdeo around, that the media is almost like a buffoonery, like peanut gallery, to just be treated however and sort of pushed to the side and ignored most of the time. And so there's no real, there isn't a real, political infrastructure to back a strong media apparatus in Guyana. So, and then the government just doesn't respond to the media the way they should. And this is not good. I mean, this is not how you should have a government set up. The government, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to do this, by the way. This isn't a funding issue. This is an issue of just competence, right? Just having enough competence to have people in place that can communicate on every level from the government what the community needs to know about what's happening inside the community when there are things like murders happening of 11-year-old girls. Like, this is something that the government has to have a system in place for basic communication to the community. Otherwise, you have a situation where it looks like the government is a part of the murder. It looks like the government is taking part in hurting the community, in covering up a murder of an 11. That's how it looks when you don't communicate, right? So that it's just imperative that someone within the PPPC gets serious about this on a national level and start getting some communication down here immediately to help quell the anger and the frustrations that are clearly boiling up around that hotel right now.
Lots and lots of anger, lots and lots of frustration. If you're now joining us, the 11-year-old girl, her body was just moments ago discovered on the premises of the very hotel. And I agree with all of our commentators here today and all of you in the audience watching and commenting. Let's go quickly and hear what's happening on the ground.
There are no more place people could get. First one they get with.
Certainly, this doesn't come as a surprise to many of you. It doesn't come as a surprise to me in terms of the aftermath, emotions and blood boiling, and rightly so. You cannot condemn the people for what has happened. What you can do, what's happening now, you condemn the police force, you condemn those at the hotel. It is apparent that they were part and parcel of a cover up, allegedly, of a cover up. The police should have done more from the inception. And if they had done more from the inception, there's a high possibility that this could have been avoided. Thomas Anderson with us, Wayne Caesar with us, Bonita Montague with us. And again, for those who are now joining us, the body of the 11-year-old young 11-year-old girl, Adriana Young, was just moments ago discovered, of course, dead. It is alleged that the workers and maybe owner of the hotel alleged that it is alleged decided to put the body next to the pool. Maybe sometime early in the course of the morning, the body was placed in the pool. I don't know. We don't know. But what we do know is that when there were footage and they were live streamed last night from the hotel next to the pool, there was absolutely no body in the pool. So the question is, who did this and what for? We know what for, but who did this and when it occurred? All of the persons that worked between yesterday to this morning should be under arrest, including the owner. Mr. Anderson, what we're seeing right now here doesn't come as a surprise, all the smoke and the burning and so forth. Sir?
I mean, usually, what you'd have would be police set up in front of the hotel where they would have like a podium and like microphones and cameras for the press, right? So that way, if the public is wondering what's going on or if they're upset, you have a police force out front speaking to the public, communicating on everything that they know of what's going on, to speaking of whatever arrest they're about to make. And that's usually the way you protect property, right? Is by doing it like that. When I saw that there wasn't any police force out there about to hold a press conference to speak to the public, I said, okay, so they're just going to allow this to just go its natural course. Well, if you go anywhere in the world, I don't care where you are, you can go to New York City right now. If you go into any place in New York City and grab an 11-year-old girl and kill her and have her leave her body in a hotel and the police like they're covering it up and no one's coming out to communicate, that area in New York City is going to burn. Okay, people are going to get mad. They're going to hurt someone because they don't want people coming into their community killing 11-year-old children and getting away with it, right? And so they expect police to operate and to move quickly on situations like this. If the police can't move and can't communicate quickly and swiftly and correctly and accurately on a murder of an 11-year-old child, something as serious as this, where the community is out in force and showing that, hey, they mean business. This is not a joke. If the government can't handle this, then there are serious problems going on in Guyana right now. So I'm going to reiterate, they need to make some arrests and they need to communicate to the public what's going on before this gets worse.
And of course, I agree with you again. They need to make some arrests and swiftly too. Ms. Montague, we have seen how the police operate, how they have been operating, especially with crimes and covering up and corruption and all manner of things. The police force is injured, badly injured, and this makes it even worse. Do you have any confidence in the police force any longer?
No.
Absolutely no confidence at all. And
No, I am saddened, and it's too many times it's happening. And if you have an error in one case, because of course it's human, you will have errors or you'll have missteps, but then you'll see, and they will make efforts and publicly engage the nation and the world at large to let them know, look, we're putting these systems in place. This will not repeat itself again. But you hear nothing. They deal in silence because they feel there is no one to address them. There is no accountability. And so whatever they do, they are the powers. And so we can jump high, light a tire, or block a street. They believe it's for there too. And this will be business as usual. And so this continues to repeat itself. My question to the world at large, are we talking tourism with Guyana? How can we bring our tourists? How can tourists be invited to a country where, one of the attractions for tourists is poolsides entertainment and pool activities, and you have something like this happening? What will you tell the people or the families of our tourists coming here? Guyana is not ready for tourism with these kinds of behaviors. Security in Guyana has been fractured and now it is almost crippled. And I am very disappointed. I am very embarrassed. And this is not the police force that I came to love, came to serve, and will always have a deep sense of respect for. This is not the force we know.
Absolutely no confidence in the Guyana police force, and it's rightly so. For the commissioner of police to resign, the commander for that division should be asked to be removed with immediate effect. All of them should be placed under investigations as well as to what transpired between yesterday afternoon to now. Was there a cover up? Why did they enter the premises? It became a potential crime scene when it was reported that an 11-year-old girl went missing. Immediately, that should have been treated, as a potential crime scene, and the area should have been searched. It was not done. Why didn't the police do their job? Ms. Montague, you did say, and you questioned civilians being members of a PR team for the police. What is needed is competent individuals. Throughout the world, you have civilians become public relations officers for police force. I recall many years ago, and probably still to this day, NYPD, they hired a good friend of mine, John Miller, who was the PR guy. John Miller wasn't known to be a policeman. He worked as a TV news anchor person. He became a public relations guy. But the point is, you need competent individuals. You have guys like Mark Ramotar, who was fired, I was told, from Guyana Chronicle and connected to the PPP. So these guys are not competent PR persons. This is not to knock Stan Govire or so, but they need competent and not political PR persons for the police force. And that's the problem. Mr. Wayne Caesar seems to be agreeing with that. Go ahead, sir.
Just before Wayne go, if I may.
If let me see here. Go right ahead, Ms. Montague, before we get to Wayne. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hear you, and I can agree with you. if we are holding Guyana or keep judging Guyana on the same level as the United States, which is not the case. So when you can have a civilian in the United States, as much as we have troubles here and the system is not perfect, but when you can hold someone accountable here, it's a total different thing because of the level and the magnitude of corruption in Guyana. So to have civilians there, it can, yes, if they are credible and if they're competent. We don't have that, and Guyana corrupt system will not allow that. So we're operating on a disadvantage in that system. So there are no comparisons there. So I believe and you can't hold them accountable because they're civilians. They can't be held accountable tomorrow. They pick up their bag and they leave. What will you do? You can't demote them. You can't do anything to them. They leave.
Mhm.
But when you have a rank and file, you can address the rank and file through different layers of system and judicial processes. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'm just going to take a quick break. I got to go again. Thanks.
No, Bonita, no, she's right. I agree. I think Wayne, I think you were next too. But yeah, man, this is a situation where I've said it over and over again that what Guyana needs more than anything, and the opposition should be on top of this, is the at least the discussion needs to start about how to upgrade the systems in Guyana, right? How to upgrade the police department, how to upgrade their ability to do the job that they're being asked to do, right? Just across the board, just upgrading everything. It sounds like it's simple, but it's something that's so important and it's so needed. And it doesn't take that much time either, by the way. With some good training, the people of Guyana are smart people, just need some training, some quick training, get people out there into the right positions, get the right system set up in place. And that's what the country really needs right now, more than anything else. So hopefully this is something that can be used to inspire some people within the government, some people within the nation itself, to start pushing towards uh, demanding and getting a better system, a better law enforcement system, a better police force, a more accountable force, a more accountable government, a more transparent government. Because without that stuff, you run into the problem of the public feeling like nothing's being done, number one, but then number two, it starts to feel like the government is rigged to hurt the people, and to go after innocent people. And so that's how it's viewed. And once your people are viewing your government that way, then it's kind of hard to have a functioning country. So I think right now, if we can just somehow, some way inspire the nation of Guyana, man, to just get on top of this system and get more professional people in, and get a system where the people feel like the government's accountable and more transparent, things can be really, really good. But unless that system is put in place, unless the opposition starts calling for this upgrade, we're going to continue to see these problems.
So true. Lots and
That's
lots of
what.
comments, lots and lots of messages. And this is so unfortunate. It's even beyond that. And shame on the PPP regime, shame on Irfan, shame on Barrett Jagdeo, shame on the Guyana police force, shame on the Minister of Home Affairs. They should be protest in front of the commissioner's office. They should be protest in front of Irfan's office. The people in Linden should also, and this is just my opinion, they should also be seeking justice right now because of the alleged cover-up by the RSS. So throughout the country, people should be seeking justice. Mr. Caesar, you were about to make a point, sir. Go ahead.
Yes, yes, and Mark, you kind of steal my thunder there a bit, but just to piggyback a little bit to what Bonita and Tom was talking about, and they so eloquently, put it across. It equates to standards, and you could only get those standards if the people come together and demand the standards. So the exercise that is going on the ground right now in that community around that slaughterhouse is correct. And what would have happened in Linden is correct, because what the people are doing essentially they are sending a message to law enforcement to not take them for granted. You see, a lot of these atrocities over the years, they happen in Guyana one after the other, and they just tend to go away, and that bothers me. That bothers me. We need to stay on top of these things and make sure that the necessary change comes about, right? And how do you bring about this change? Right? We're entering into election cycle. The Guyanese people have a chance now to bring about this change, because this cannot continue to happen. Whether you like a government or you like a party or whatever, I don't care. I'm not affiliated with any party, so I don't care. What I'm trying to say essentially, okay, is that people needs to be able to live in Guyana safely and happily. And that is absolutely not the case. You're supposed to be able to take out your young 11-year-old child on a picnic or whatever it is and be able to walk back into your home with that child, and not to be searching for that child over a day and then to see a child show up in a swimming pool
and under questionable, point taken, Mr. Caesar, under questionable circumstances, the pool we saw, or folks are saying that they saw video footage that there wasn't anything in the pool, not a body, not a shirt, not the pants, absolutely nothing. And then for them to haul that body next to the pool to pretend as though enough is enough. Tom, as we prepare to wrap up, I just want to give our viewers a few minutes more of what's happening live in front of the hotel at Tushan. And Tushan is between Reed and Hope and Parika, for those who don't know the area there. You go across the Demerara Harbor Bridge, you make that right, and you reach the Reed and Hope, you make that left, and straight up in the middle, somewhere thereabout, is Tushan.
Sheep. Watch. Bang. What is it? All the vehicles them outside on fire. Another vehicle there on fire. Portables on fire. Red! We just said it! My God would cheer them.
Tom Anderson and Wayne Caesar. We will continue airing this video right now that we're having a video footage from Jaden. But briefly, closing remarks, Tom, and then Mr. Caesar.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that the government can bring some organization to this situation. They can communicate to the people as to what's going on and give the public an idea of what they know and what they don't know. Um, and I hope that for the people who are out there to not be violent. Protesting is good and that's great, but getting violent, can cause more innocent people to be hurt. And so you want to, I think at this point, everyone involved, it's a tragedy what happened. You don't want to add tragedy to tragedy by bringing more violence to the situation. I understand that people are frustrated. I understand that people want to see justice, right? And I understand that it's hard to get justice in Guyana right now. I understand that. But at the end of the day, getting more innocent people hurt right now isn't going to bring justice. It's going to create more injustice. So I think for everybody involved to, protest, show your numbers, show the government that you want these types of situations to be handled properly. Because it sends a message to criminals. When a criminal can see that the government is serious, and when someone like a child is disappeared, that they come in so fast and they catch the people and they arrest them, it makes it so that criminals think twice before they go to commit a crime. When you see this type of chaos right here, this sends a message to criminals that, I can do evil things and there's so much chaos in the country that I could possibly get away with it. They'll never catch me type of situation. So this is not a good look. It's imperative that the government of Guyana steps up to the plate and just brings this situation under control by communicating with the people, not through force, by communicating with the people and by making arrests and by showing that, this is something that's being taken care of and justice is being served by the government. That needs to happen now. It can't wait any longer. And hopefully the people who are out there on the street can keep this as a peaceful protest and not something that turns violent where other innocent people can be hurt.
Well said, Tom. The people's blood boiling. Unfortunately, the people view the government as criminals. The people view senior members of the Guyana police force as criminals, and this is their only way of venting their frustrations. I agree with you that innocent people should not be targeted, but 99% of folks would say this is justifiable. This is justified. Let it not escalate where innocent persons will be caught up in the crossfire. But if the police had done what they should have done, then this would have been avoided. The fact that they did not do it, it is boiling up the blood of these people. And all Guyanese are out there from all ethnic persuasion. It doesn't matter. They're out there because this is an 11-year-old child. It should never have happened. Those of us who are parents, even if you're not a parent, you have nieces, you have nephews. No one want this. No one want this. And it's imperative that a police force is there to protect and serve, not to cover up, but to protect and serve, not to protect their friends and cronies in high places, not to protect their friends in the business community, but to protect everyone. We're not seeing that being the case in Guyana at all. And it was just a matter of time before something like this happened. And when I say something like this, where the people are going to take their revenge, take their frustration out on what occurred. Is it correct? Where I am sitting right now, I am not wearing the shoes right now of those individuals. I am not there on the ground. And who feels it knows. The people are sick and tired of the cover-up. The people are sick and tired of the corruption. The people are sick and tired of extrajudicial killings. And that is what we're seeing right now. Those people out there are venting their frustration. They're angry right now, and rightfully so. They're not hooligans. They're not thugs. They're not criminals. They are citizens who are venting their frustration because we have a broken system. The system is not working. The system has not been working far too often the cover-up is way too much, and enough is enough. So what we're seeing there was just a matter of time before it happened. And I hope that people will be careful and no innocent lives will be lost. But I kind of like what I'm seeing in terms of justification with the smokes there. This is not encouraging violence, but there is justification when you have a criminal government and you have criminals within the Guyana police force who are not protecting and serving the people. Mr. Wayne Caesar, your closing remarks, please, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mark, and thank you for having me. I do agree with Tom that we don't want anyone else to get hurt. We don't want anybody to be injured or anything. But with that being said, I think I sent out a warning to the Guyana Police Force, urging them not to use live rounds when trying to deal with the crowds. And I believe at this point right now that the Guyana Police Force should just back off and leave the people alone for now. Let them vent. Give them some time. They need time. Mark, I also totally agree with you. I believe that it's my belief, and I'm saying this, and I hope that Jack Dio can be pulled in life to this program, and he's seeing this, that the PPPC is a criminal syndicate. It's a criminal organization. Okay, so when we want to talk about criminals, it starts at the top with the government and trickle down to people like the individual who owns that hotel, because this is not the first criminal act at that slaughterhouse of a hotel. You understand me? It is the second, and they should not be a third. Okay, try me once, try me twice. There should not be a third. I agree with what the people are doing on the ground. The people need to continue to show their disappointment in the Guyana Police Force, and more so the government from a holistic perspective, right? Guyanese need to stand up. Okay, we need to stand up. We just buried 2 young men in Linden, and now to deal with this with a young 11-year-old daughter, Mark, it's a bit too much. It is a bit too much. When is enough going to be enough? Okay, the PPPC, their time is up. This government needs to be removed by the hooks or the crooks. Over to you, sir.
We want to make sure that it's by the hooks, and we believe in democracy, transparency in every way. I understand people's blood boiling up. It's sad what has happened, and that is why the people are calling for elections, transparent elections, free, fair elections, and they will be beaten again, just like they were beaten in 2015, just like they were beaten in 2020, albeit they were installed. They will be beaten again, fair and square. I'm Mark Benshop. We are not going to go anywhere. At least we will be off, but we'll try to find some live coverage right here on 107.1 FM. Thank you so much, Mr. Anderson. Thank you so much, Mr. Caesar. And to all of you who are watching, please don't change your dial. Remain right here. We'll still find some coverage for you guys. Thank you all so much. Tom, thanks for coming out, even at such a short notice. And same to you, Mr. Caesar. Thank you, gentlemen.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, so we will try to get some footage. I know you guys want to find out more what's happening. You see the body there of that little girl. I'm sure it's already out. I'm almost certain that with the building being on fire right now, that the body was removed. It's a sad thing. It's sad for any parent, any mother, any father. And those of you who have lost little kids, your children, or a child, you'll understand exactly how it feels. And from a personal standpoint, I have lost an 8-year-old child under questionable circumstances too. And so I feel the pain of these parents. And as parents, we all do feel the pain of the mother and the father. And, it's a sad case. But when you have a criminal government that doesn't believe in protecting its citizens, they only protect friends and cronies and corrupt individuals, money launderers, gold smugglers, drug lords. That seemed to be the order of the day in Guyana. They seem to be getting all of the protection, move around with police sirens and police escorts. They enjoy the moment, those sort of moments, but the ordinary citizens have to suffer. We're out of here, guys. If there's anything else that pops up later during the course of the day, we will be back with a live feed again. So our condolences go out to the parents, the relatives, the families, the family members, the friends and villagers of Adriana Young. It's a sad day for Guyana. Lots and lots of bloodshedding, typical of whenever the PPPC is in office. Londoners, you have to stand up and fight for justice. You cannot go into tomorrow with what is called a tongue day. Now is not the time for a tongue day. It's just not the time. Now it's time for justice, and now it's time to vote this corrupt PPP regime out of office. The Commissioner of Police should be asked to resign with immediate effect. The commander for that division, where the in Tushin, where that double-day so-called hotel or brothel or whatever, slaughterhouse, whatever you want to describe it as, the commander for that division should be asked to resign as well. And all of the officers involved in yesterday's visit to the place and did nothing should be under close arrest as well. They should be investigated. It's a murder. That's all I can say. The evidence is there. It's a murder. It's a murder. And possibly, yeah, cold-blooded murder. Beautiful, beautiful little girl. Sad case. Condolences also for the other 3 persons who lost their lives off the Linden-Soosdijk Highway. A woman, she was killed by her reputed husband. 2 members or 3 members of her family were murdered as well. Within the last 72 hours, lots and lots of murders. Meanwhile, Jack Dale enjoying himself, enjoying life. Irfan Ali picking green mangoes and enjoying it and shedding probably crocodile tears now. You have Robeson Ben missing in action. He's the guy that loves to show up and curse out firefighters. I don't know. It's an evil, evil spell on that country. An evil and wicked, corrupt PPP regime. They've got to go. You've got to vote them out, guys. Hopefully, those folks in the opposition will get their act together finally. Hopefully. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys later. God bless you all.
Yeah, my name is Jacinti Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data. I have none.
Inside every sector, but when it comes to them, they say